So let's discuss the next questions. This was asked in 2017. So the question talks about democracy's superior virtue lies in the fact that it calls into activity, right? So this is basically about asking about the concept of democracy. So before discussing this questions, let's discuss about the democracy. So if we see the democracy, so democracy has been formed with the combination of two terms, that is demo and cracy. So demo, as we all know, it means a people, and cracy is a rule. So when we combine this, we come to a term that is a people's rule. So democracy basically means a people's rule. Now the people can rule by two mechanisms, or by two ways rather we should say. First is direct democracy, or directly by involving into the formations of government and rule and regulations. And the second through indirect democracy. Now this in indirect democracy, the peoples choose their representative, right, and give them the power. So this representative take power from people. They have been empowered by the people to represent the individual peoples. Now, and on behalf of people, they can participate in two things. First, in the formations of government, and plus help the government in policy formulations This is how they can be participate. Now, being a representative of an people, they have a very high responsibility that the true decisions and true opinion of the people should be conveyed to the government. Then only on the basis of opinion of the people, on the basis of problems faced by the people, solutions, what they want from to the problem faced by problem of the peoples, then only the government will be in a position to formulate a law which finally going to impact the people. So through this we can see that it is a people who used to have to come up with an intelligence and character that through which they can choose their representative, a correct persons to represent them, represent their opinion and convey their opinion to government. Clear? This is a concept of democracy. So here we can understand how the people's role and intelligence will functions in delivering a good laws and delivering in a very effective government through the representative. Clear? So if you see the options, so the intelligence and character of ordinary men and women, yes, this is our answer. Now you can understand how the intelligence and character of ordinary men and women are important in functioning of democracy through this discussions. Clear? Now, if you see the second, the method, the democratic method for strengthening executive leadership, no, it is not to strengthen executive leadership, it is to strengthen the peoples. Right? Superior individuals, no, it is not for the superior individual, it is for the community. And a band of dedicated party worker, no, it is not restricted to the only party worker, but every citizens, that is a people of a nations, is dedicated for everyone. So the first is our true answer. Now if you see that democracy is a form of government in which power is held by people through elected representatives. The superior virtue of democracy lies in the fact that call it calls into activities the intelligence and character of ordinary men and women. This means that democracy empowers the people to participate in decision making process and allows them to voice their opinion and ideas. The participations of ordinary men and women is important because they are the ones who are directly affected by the government policies and decisions. Already we have seen they have first hand experience of problems and challenges faced by the society. Their participations ensure that the government is aware of needs and aspirations of people and is able to address them effectively. Peoples are given Peoples are given the opportunity to express their opinions, debates issues, make informed decisions. This process helps to develop critical thinking skills, encourage open mindedness and foster a sense of responsibility towards the community. Clear? So why we come to understand why it is important that ordinary men and women should have indulge or be an intelligence and shows their character in it is an important for democracy. Clear? Let's move to the next questions. Next questions asked in 2013 and this is a repeated again. The question is not repeated, rather its concept is repeated. Clear? So the concept is repeated, the questions repeated in 2020 that we have discussed in 11th questions. Now let's see the questions. In the context of India, which of the following principles is or are implied institutionally in the parliamentary government? Right, so here we have seen the parliamentary form of government. Now the features of parliamentary form of government we have seen. Now the question is asked that among those parliamentary form of government which of the features applied in Indian parliamentary systems. So let's see. The first statement says member of cabinet are a member of parliament. Yes, it is true. The one of the feature that is a dual membership is also applicable in India, the feature of parliamentary form of government. So the cabinet has are member of parliament. Yes, the executive, the person who wants to become an executive, the person who wants to become a cabinet member, including the prime minister or chief minister, first they have to be a member of parliament. Then only they can be a member of cabinet. Clear? So this is true. Minister hold the office till they enjoy the confidence of parliament. Yes, that is collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. One of the features. So here we can say that the executives are responsible to legislature. This is one of the features of the parliamentary form of government which can be seen. So we know that the Indian Council of Ministers can be removed by no confidence motions passed against in parliament. Right? So they have been controlled. So they can only enjoy the Council of Ministers, can only enjoy the office till they having a confidence, that is majority. Confidence means majority of the house. Clear? So this is also true. Now cabinet is headed by the head of the state. No, this is not true. This is incorrect. So we can understand that in parliamentary form of government there are two heads. One is nominal head, and another is real head. Right? This nominal head is also known as head of a state, head of state. So this is president of India is a head of state and he is a nominal head. Real head, also known as head of a government, right? Now the government, who forms a government? Who have a majority in the house, who has a majority in the house. And are you getting my point? So which party will form a government? Who will have a majority in the house? And who becomes a head of the government? That is prime minister, which having a leader of majority party, which has formed a government, right? So this leader of majority party will be a prime minister and the cabinet will be headed by prime minister. So prime minister will head the cabinet. So no, and this cabinet and this prime minister is known as a head of government, not a head of a state. So cabinet is headed by head of the government, not by the head of the state. So this is incorrect. So we need to select the correct answer using the code given below. So only 1 and 2 of the given above statements are true about the parliamentary form of government. Clear? Now if we revisit the question number 11 to understand, to see the concept. So here we can see the features of a parliamentary form of government, that is having a nominal and real executive. We have seen the president plus prime minister. Dual membership, a member is an executive, membership to executive plus a membership of legislature. collective responsibilities, that is majority party rule, or we can say that in under the collective responsibility, so we can say executives are responsible to legislature, right? Leadership of prime ministers, leadership of prime minister, yes, leader of majority party, and this is when this prime minister had the cabinet, majority party rule, and bicameral legislature. So these are the features of parliamentary form of government, which has already been discussed. Clear? Now let's move to the next questions. So next questions asked in 2011, and this is a fact based question. This is also we have already discussed. So it says that consider the following. Now there are three statements given: the right to education, right to equal access to public service, and right to food. Which of the above is or are human right or human rights are under Universal Declaration of Human Rights? So basically it wants to ask out of the given statement which comes under the UDHR. So all the three are the part of UDHR. Let's see. Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a milestone international document that proclaims the inalienable rights to which every individual is inherently entitled. It means the person by virtue of birth as human being is entitled to certain rights, to certain rights, and these rights were known as an human rights. So the individual who just as a born in a human shall not be inalienable, right, or that cannot be the rights of a human rights can be taken away from him, and shall not be discriminated on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, language, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or status. Clear? Now Article 1 and 2 of the UDHR establish the principles of dignity, liberty, equality and brotherhood that can be seen in a preamble of Indian constitutions. Article 3 to 11 of the UDHR talks about establish the rights of individuals such as rights to life and prohibitions. This all covered under part 3rd of the constitutions, and the rights include under this are freedom of expressions, opinion, thoughts and religion, right to education, right to work, right to rest and leisure, right to social security, right to health, right to adequate housing, right to equal access to public service, and right to food. All these rights were included under UDHR. So here we can say that all the given above rights are under the UDHR. Clear? Now let's move to the next questions. So next question is also a kind of repeated conceptual questions. And this is also a concept based question. Concept based questions. Now this was asked in 2021. So it says that we adopted parliamentary democracy based on a British model. But how does our model differ from the model? It means it is a comparison between British parliamentary democracy and Indian parliamentary democracy, right? So let's see, the first statement says, as regards legislations, British parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India the power of parliament to legislate is limited. Yes, this is true. Why? Because if we see the British parliament can make any law. So British parliament through law can take away individuals rights. As the rights of an individual is violated by the law formulated by parliament, these individuals rights cannot be restored by judiciary in Britain. Why? Because judiciary in Britain lacks the judicial review against parliamentary law. Parliamentary law. So the judiciary in Britain do not have a judicial review against the parliamentary law. And because of this, the parliament in Britain is supreme or a sovereign. There is no limitation and the respect of power exercised by the British Parliament. But in India, the power of Parliament to legislate is limited. Yes, it cannot go as supreme as a British Parliament. There is a judiciary who want to restrict the British Indian Parliament. There is a constitutions, so that there is a limit imposed on a British on a Parliament of India while exercising its legislative power. So this is also true. Next, if we see the second statement, in India, matters related to constitutionality of the amendment of an act of parliament are referred to constitution bench by Supreme Court. Yes, this is also true. As we know, the Supreme Court in India is an interpreter of constitutions and also a guardian and protector of constitutions. So because of these two functions, the Supreme Court is to review the parliamentary law, and in regard of this, the Supreme Court transfer, or we can say that referred this law to constitution bench. So this is also true. Now select the correct answer using the code below. Yes, both are true, so our answer will be C. Now if you see the British Parliament and Indian Parliament, so it says that the British Parliament is sovereign, that is supreme power within the state without any legal restrictions, means the judiciary lacking the power of judicial review on its authority and jurisdictions. The Parliament can make, amend, substitute or repeal any law. The Parliament can make constitutional law by some same procedure as ordinary law. In other words, there is no legal distinctions between the constituent authority and the legislative authority of British Parliament. The Parliament laws cannot be declared invalid by judiciary as being unconstitutional, which means there is no system of judicial review in Britain. Clear? Through this we have already seen. Now if we see the Indian Parliament, so Indian Parliament on the other hand cannot be regarded as an sovereign body in similar sense as the legal restriction on its authority and jurisdictions. So let's see what provisions and what impose limitation on sovereignty of Indian Parliament. So the first limitation imposed by the written nature of constitutions. So Parliament has to function according to constitutions. Federal systems of government, yes, according to constitutions, there is a division of power between center and state through 7th schedule. So it means the Parliament can only legislate on those matters which mentioned in the union list. It cannot legislate on other matters which is not mentioned in union list. Again, this shows the limitations. System of judicial review, the law made by Parliament may be reviewed by the judiciary, and if the law is inconsistent with the constitutions, can be called an unconstitutional. This is the third limitation imposed by the sovereignty of Indian Parliament. And the third is, and the last one is fundamental right that talk. So how the fundamental right imposed? Article 13 says that any law made by Parliament, and if that law is a violative of part 3rd of the constitutions, that will be void. Right? So this also says that Parliament cannot make any law which inconsistent with the part 3rd of the constitutions. So these are the factors which impose restrictions on Indian Parliament. Clear? So this was in 2021 questions. Now let's move to the next questions. This question was asked in 2017. So this is also a concept based question. and also we can say that this is also a repeated concept. Now if you see let's see the question. So question says, which one of the following is not a feature of Indian federalism? So we need to find the feature which does not belong to Indian federalisms, right? So first is, there is an independent judiciary in India. Yes, this is a feature, and through this supremacy of constitution is protected or established. So it is necessary that the supremacy of constitution should be protected. So this is a job of Indian independent judicial system. So this is a part of Indian federal systems. Power have been clearly divided between center and states. Yes, through the seventh schedule, as we can see that three list is given: union list, state list, and concurrent list. And through this, the power is divided between center and state. Third, so this is also true. Third, the federating units have been given unequal representation in Rajya Sabha. Yes, this is also true. So to understand this, we can understand through this that let's make a comparison between Rajya Sabha of India, that is a council of state known in India, and Senate of USA, council of state known in USA. So if you see, the USA has a fixed membership of 100. So there will be 100 members of Council of State, that is in Senate. Now how they will come into the Senate? So it says that the 50 states, so each state will out of this 50 state, each state will send a 2 representative into the Senate. So it means it gives an equal representations to the states, right? But if you see in the Council of States, the representations of our members in Rajya Sabha is based on a populations, right? So if you say the highest population state will have an highest representations. So for example, we can see that the UP having a highest population, so it has an highest number of representation in the Senate or in the Council of State or Rajya Sabha, whereas Sikkim having a lowest population, so will have an one representation of Sikkim in the Council of State. This shows an unequal representations in Rajya Sabha. So this is also true. So out of the 4 given options, 3 are true. So our answer would be D. This is not true. So D is the answer. It says it is a result of agreement among federating units. No. Union of India, that is Indian Union, is not a result of agreement. Rather, Union in USA is a result of agreement of a units. Clear? So this is not true. So our answer would be D. D is our answer. Clear? Now if you see the features of federal government, so it is a written constitutions. Yes, we have a written constitutions. We have a supremacy of constitutions, division of power between union and states through the 7th schedule. You can see bicameral legislature, Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, independent judiciary, yes, Supreme Court, High Court, and there is an hierarchy of judiciary also. Rigidity of constitutions, yes, a separate provision has been provided to amend the constitutions and the provisions is to be followed. And dual polity, that is government has 2 levels. So this all shows that we have all the features of federal government given into the Indian federal systems. Clear? So by this we come to an end to our first topic of discussion, that is basic of constitutions and salient feature of constitutions. So we as a team from Introspection IS hopes that this series what we have started will helps you in your preparations, और इससे आपको एक मदद मिलेगी अपने preparations में. So if you find it useful, please like, also subscribe to the Introspection IS, and make your comment if any improvement or anything want to say about this, and also share too with your friends. ठीक है, चलिए, thank you. We'll come up with the next series. Thank you.